Did you live tweet us out for the
What's
public?
that? Me?
You're on the bullpen.
I don't live tweet.
You're on the bullpen account.
Do you live tweet? Anybody else live tweet? You know what I was looking forward to was live tweeting of Evan and his cat. You know what I was looking forward to was live tweeting.
You have a cat now?
We got it. We're good.
You have a cat?
It's not my cat. It's my fiance's.
Okay, so
it's like I can never remember that he has a twin.
So we've been waiting
is
for
Sparky yours?
Yes.
Here's a little bit of background, right? So yesterday, we're all in the bullpen, or most of us are at least at our desks, and Evan says my cat had to get a cone on its head. Is that right?
Right.
Because of the not your cat. We've established it's not your cat.
My fiance's cat.
Yeah. And then he gets a text message that says what again? This is about, 4 o'clock?
Basically says, let me pull this up correctly. It said, I need you to come home. Lucifer, the name of the cat, is stuck in the back of the church. I think that was a mistype. Couch. I'm freaking out and trying to cut it open. Basically, my fiance was worried that the cat's cone was stuck on something. She could only see its stomach and its back leg, so she thought it was hanging itself by the cone. So it took me about 25 minutes to get home. Get there, had to lift it up, tilt it sideways, tilt it backwards, yada, yada. Cut the fabric off the bottom of the couch, pull out some stuffing, find out there's 2 floors apparently. There's an upstairs and a downstairs underneath the couch.
To your couch. Your couch has layers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's like an
the
onion.
cat can hide in, and it was hiding in the upper layer. And finally we got it after about 10 or 15 minutes to run out, knocked over my Sierra Nevada growler. Luckily, no damage was done.
40 would have been pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, cat's okay now. Took the cone off it, so it's just going to have to live without it.
Let me ask you something. On your drive home,
Right.
what was going through your mind? What did you think you were going to walk into when she said, I'm trying to cut open the couch?
You know, funny thing, I was actually catching up with my buddy Jordan on the phone on the way home, and I was telling him the story, and I really wasn't that worried about it.
Really?
No. Well, I figured, we'll cut it open, and, at some point the cat gets freaked out. When you get too close to it, it'll run out, and it'll be fine. So it was just a question of how long was it going to take. It took about 10 minutes, and all right.
JP, you don't have any pets, do you?
Nah.
You got a pit bull back home, right?
Nah, we had to give Nina back to his owner.
How did you end up with the...
It wasn't in a good home, so...
Oh, okay.
But once they moved into like a humongous house, they have a supremely large backyard.
Okay,
so.
I was going to say, well, if it wasn't a good home, you should have been able to keep the...
Yeah, it would have been tight, though. I miss Nina. She's the homie.
What's going on Facebook? Do we have anybody on Facebook with us?
Where's Jace Chan?
No.
Nobody viewing us on Facebook at the moment?
It's because he's doing hard slave labor in Studio 3.
Tweet us out.
Okay.
Tweet us out. So
link.
for those of you that aren't watching on Facebook right now,
tell people that they can win money if they start watching and watch the numbers go through the roof.
Yeah, we need prizes, apparently. That's how it's going to happen.
Yep. Americans move on incentive.
Because they sure as heck don't move on.
Before we start the show, I just want to say that while it was a disappointing year, because I know we're not going to get to, a disappointing finish. I know we're not going to get to hockey in this podcast. Well, it was a disappointing finish. I was pretty proud of the Sharks the way they finished.
Wow, you actually made it. The Capitals suck.
Yeah.
I thought about writing a eulogy and doing the whole thing, but I just, it was a good year. Do I think they're going to get back next year like people think? No, I don't. I just don't think this is the group. This was their shot.
Make it this year. This
is
why
true.
You and your wife decided to get pregnant.
He's not wrong, folks.
So
and decided to allow me to name your son.
And welcome into the bullpen. Hello, Facebook. If you're out there or you're watching this later, hello, Facebook. This is the Bullpen Podcast, episode 25, coming from
a beautiful Studio One.
Studio One. A special thanks to Yahoo Studios for allowing us to celebrate our quarter-century show here.
We can rent a car now.
We totally can. We totally can.
We could have before. We just don't have to pay extra now.
Yeah.
Before we get into the topics of today, can you guys believe we've done 25 of these things?
Yes.
And we still only have 2 listeners.
Oh, America hates us.
We've got Brandon's mom.
No, she can't. She probably can't figure it out.
She dropped out.
No. She was good with the YouTube clips when we were tweeting those out and all that, and I was sending them to her. But yeah, now that I don't like physically force feed it to her, she's probably not paying that much attention.
Well, Cliff is probably out there, right? We got Cliff for
Man,
sure.
Cliff been crying so much because his beloved Golden State Warriors have just boo-booed all over his feelings.
Boo-booed.
Poor Warriors.
I feel like we're going to spend like half the pod talking about that.
I think so, too.
We jokingly said we were going to let JP filibuster and just walk off the set and just let him go.
Before we get to that filibuster, because we know JP has strong feelings on the NBA Finals, please do keep in touch with us here at the Bullpen Podcast.
Please.
At the Bullpen Pod on Twitter. It is used frequently. We have bullpenpodcast@gmail.com. That's available for you.
That we've probably never gotten an email from.
nope.
Except maybe from Google saying, hey,
hey,
you guys have an account
check your
now.
mail more. And you can also hit us up on Facebook in the comments section. Okay, so before we start, Brobes, we got anybody on the Facebook yet?
No.
Okay, so still 0 people on Facebook.
I mean, Facebook has changed their format here, so I'm trying to like make. It says we're live.
Anybody want to hit up Cliff for a question or anything before we get going?
We don't have the proper algorithm for
right.
everybody to be watching on Facebook.
All right. Well, it is the NBA Finals. We've got a Game 7, guys. So all the more reason to hit them with my favorite.
Basketball.
This is the last time I get to play it till like November.
I still have the video of your kid.
Oh yeah.
The fact that you trained your son
He still does dunk it.
to
tight.
follow basketball with dunk it.
All right.
really tight.
NBA Finals Game 7 coming up on Sunday, Father's Day. Warriors go up 3-1, lose 2. It's tied 3-3. We're headed back to Oracle. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts of this series? Game 6, I think the biggest thing, at least from my standpoint, and I've only watched a couple of games, and I'll open up to you guys because I know you're going to go, but the biggest thing is this talk of the NBA treating this thing in such a manner that it would be extended to a 6th and then a 7th game.
You mean the comments of one Ayesha Curry?
Well, Ayesha one is one of them, but then
yeah.
also the Draymond suspension being lobbied because they wanted to extend the series. There's people that thought that as well. I don't know. JP, let's start with you on your thoughts on games 6, 5, 6, and even tomorrow Sunday night.
I don't see the rigged argument when these same disillusioned Warrior fans weren't screaming that the series was rigged when they came back down 3-1 to the Thunder. There was no type of rigged then. Why is it rigged now because they're losing? Last game, Game 6, they scored 11 points in
the first quarter.
In the first quarter. Yeah. How do the referees make it that you miss all of your open jump shots, that you don't play any sound defense to, I guess, give the Cavaliers some type of unforeseen advantage because the jig is in? Like, the refs have been bad, period. Like, refs are usually bad, period. Sometimes more than not. I get the whole Bud Foster argument, and all the Warrior fans hate him because they feel like he has a vendetta against the team. And when he officiates games, they're 5-5. That's 500. So, yes, there are 5 losses. There are also 5 victories when he's on the court. And, again,
who are they
the
playing
Warrior
on?
fans aren't talking about those. It'd be different if it was like 9-1. So 9 losses, 1 win when Bud Foster rests. Okay, cool. We can maybe look into this. Like, it's 50-50. So if I was trying to fix a game, I don't want it that close. But clearly, I don't think it's rigged. I just think that after Draymond started tapping men in the genitalia and calling people names, he actually woke up the beast. Because clearly LeBron is playing like the greatest player on the planet Earth. He leads in every single statistical category: minutes, points, rebounds, assists, blocks. That's pretty gnarly that a strong forward, power forward is leading in every single statistical category in an NBA Finals by himself. That's otherworldly. So if the NBA is fixing this, they're doing a mighty great job of having everybody work together for the greater good of Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
What do you think of?
I mean, as a sports fan, period, I think any time a fan base blames conspiracies of the referees, I'm just, it annoys the hell out of me. I'm sick of that. Fact is, the Warriors are playing probably the worst basketball they've played all season. 3 of the 9 worst shooting performances they've had have come in this series against Cleveland. They simply are just not playing very good basketball. That's all it is. The Draymond thing, people keep thinking is because of the tap. Yeah, it was because of the tap, but that was his fourth flagrant point Draymond had picked up in this postseason. You
like
add all of it together.
It's
It's a sum of all
accumulation.
the parts. It's an accumulation. Thank you.
And LeBron was assessed a technical foul for stepping over him, which was wrong.
Exactly.
But it's fixed.
Give Cleveland some credit. Give Tyronn Lue some credit for making adjustments and making Steph Curry work his ass off on the offensive end of the floor and then on the defensive end when they're shoving LeBron at him. I mean, Cleveland's done what they're supposed to do in this series. My feelings are not very good if I'm a Warrior fan heading into Sunday.
And you are.
And I am.
For me, I understand why people blame the refs. Officiating, I don't agree with it. I think it's a funny thing to get mad about. But I understand that the distrust when it comes to officials in any sport, it's so up and down and all over the place that it's easy to kind of go there. And I understand why people do it. But having said that, my colleagues over here have made fantastic points about, you have the best player, LeBron gets dogged so much and he's under such scrutiny, but 6 straight finals, and if he wins this one, his 3rd title against what people were arguing was the best team ever, people need to stop and just, maybe start appreciating him finally. Because here's the thing, people did the same thing with Kobe, and then they finally started to appreciate him his last season, and that's why everybody
when he was
in
terrible.
Love. Right. Well, that's why everybody loved that last game when he went off for 60. So hopefully people can start appreciating it earlier instead of waiting until LeBron's last season when he's playing for the Milwaukee Bucks at age 40 or something.
I think almost regardless what LeBron does Sunday night, he is the MVP of the series. And you may even say Kyrie Irving's number 2.
Really?
If you go, there's a lot of stat boys and girls, and everybody now is deep on the analytics of basketball. If you pull up the last 2 games, which have both been elimination games for the Cavs, he's averaged a triple-double. Who's averaged a triple-double in back-to-back elimination games in the NBA Finals?
Yeah. That's nuts.
You talk about putting a team on your back. Yes, Kyrie has been helping. He definitely has showed up. But, Kevin Love, we haven't seen him in months. We haven't seen Kevin Love since, Minnesota. Mm-hmm. JR gets hot when he feels like it. So I feel like
Tristan Thompson's played well, too.
He's finally finishing at the rim. He averages 15 offensive boards a game
Every
and then
time
has
he
4
scored
points.
last night, I could hear your voice, JP.
I don't get how but he gets a board right in front of the basket and immediately kicks it out like second nature. He's ingrained in his mind that he needs to pass the ball and just not turn around and dunk. Maybe Bogut being injured. I
think it's a bigger effect than anything, really, obviously, than what happened in Game 6. Zealy's got to play more minutes. Where the hell was Mo Spates? Why didn't Kerr play him at all? I'm not saying Mo Spates would have made a big difference, but he has shown, 1, he can score in stretches, and 2, he can have some kind of impact at least. He didn't play at all in Game 6, which I'm not sure if he was hurt or what went on there, but he's a guy who's usually kind of sparked the Warriors a little bit. You look at the numbers for Golden State, Leandro Barbosa's got the best field goal percentage on this team.
Coming off the bench, wasn't he 70%?
He's shooting 65.4.
Yeah, he was at 70 during the game. So
yeah.
So but they keep saying that Draymond was supposed to stop Bron or be a better version of a Ruben Patterson, and Bron gave him the majority of those 41. Came with Draymond guarding him. Granted that Iguodala had a bad run at it, but his back is kind of toast, so it's kind of, what do you expect? Why is he kind of on the court? You need to go to your bench a little earlier with Andre Iguodala not being able to do mostly anything.
Before we get to Game 7 specifically, what are your feelings on Aisha and her conduct during the last couple games?
The only thing I will say about this is that if this was LeBron's wife
Savannah,
who did this, think of the uproar that would have gotten.
And the nastiness.
Because there's a guy that, Steph's only now getting some heat, over the last couple months. All season long, every night that the Warriors played, Steph was doing something ridiculous, and he was just put up on this pedestal. Now he's starting to get some heat, and his wife, she has. I mean, she's defending her husband. I can respect that. She's getting a little. It's not what they're used to so far. But LeBron has gotten hate basically his entire career.
Yeah.
And she's been quiet. She goes about her business, and she's there for her husband. She's there in a supportive way. Now, I don't know, what their relationship is. I'm not going to try to speak on that, but she does it in a different way. If she would have said this, oh my goodness, the firestorm that would have come down on that would have been insane.
I mean, this has been a pretty big firestorm as well.
Well, yeah. But I think it would have been worse with LeBron.
I have no problem with it. I would have had no problem if LeBron's wife had said anything. I think anyone's able to say what they feel.
Yeah.
Well, why is it such an outrage that she spoke out? I think that's more of a societal issue than anything else. That is now carrying over to the NBA because this is the NBA Finals, and you've got one of the more popular players in the league along with a very popular wife. And that's why this is all of a sudden such a big issue.
Yeah, I won't argue that she's wrong. I feel like when you're quote-unquote famous, for lack of a better term, like, you got to watch what you say. And, like, she also has a brand.
Yeah,
her husband has a brand.
Yep.
Together
The
they
whole
have this
family
brand.
has a brand.
Like, they're literally pushing upon people, which is totally
Yeah.
fine. We live in the most capitalistic country on the planet Earth.
Get you.
So it's all good to get in your bag. But, like, for her to say that they fixed the game because of money, win, lose, or draw, Steph Curry stands to break the proverbial bank at the end of his rookie contract.
Yeah.
He's about to get cashed out regardless.
Nike execs
second
are
contract.
Nike
This
execs
is
are
second
quitting
contract.
because they didn't get Curry. Like, that's how much money he's worth right now.
So for her to say the NBA is rigged for money, who's about to make that money? Like, your actual husband. On the backside of that, she just added just 9 million pounds of pressure on
Yeah.
his
I
little
was gonna
feeble
say,
shoulders.
That's got to be the hard part for him.
Because not only does he have to kind of like go home, he doesn't have to, so excuse me, this is not his prerogative, to defend his wife, because usually men stand in front of their women, which is cool. But now he has to actually go out and perform so that she doesn't get flamed on again for that nonsensical tweet. I mean, you don't tweet something that egregious, and then it gets 100,000 retweets, and then you try to delete it and say that, oh, it was heat of the moment. Well, you should keep heat of the moment in a text thread, in a group chat. Like, you don't tweet that. Like, this is not the time to tweet through it.
Just got to listen to Herm Edwards' advice.
So I think if in fact they do lose Game 7, I mean, you know how the media works. They're going to try to blame her. Like, you put all this insurmountable pressure on your husband's shoulders.
And
about his
that would
rigged.
be wrong too, I think. I mean, people will make that the narrative, but that's not the reason why. If the Warriors do lose, that's not the reason why they lost, because Ayesha Curry tweeted. But people will make that the case, and they, again, it's to the, blaming the refs. They will find anything to blame except the actual players on the court when it really comes down to it.
And granted, he's not playing exceptionally well. So for her to even say that, it's like, wait, but your husband is supposed to be the unanimous MVP of the league, carrying his team to the promised land. He's not doing that. The part that I think she missed, which is low, is that I don't think she understands how the internet works. Like, these jokes gonna fly regardless, lady. Like, you need to understand how Twitter is a machine, and it is undefeated. Like, the internet doesn't lose. So when you say this kind of stuff, like, it's gonna come back around. The internet doesn't forget. Like, these receipts are forever. Like, if you're a public figure, you kind of literally have to watch every single character that you put out, because people will set you on fire for it.
She's got 500,000 followers.
Yeah.
Like,
So someone should have just took her phone.
Yeah.
Because she literally went from it's rigged to I'm upset to the racially profiling my dad in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, the story that came out today about that was apparently that the security claims they thought Aisha's dad looked a lot like a very popular
The
con
scammer.
artist,
Yeah.
Right.
who uses fake credentials to get into arenas, and that's why they were worried about him. Whether that's true or not, who knows?
Right.
But
Doesn't it seem fishy when he got off the bus with her? Like the bus that Beyonce walked straight past while the Warriors
was
sat in there
hysterical.
upset? That was the best part. Like, Beyonce strolled past your bus and you sitting here tweeting, talking about still on the bus. 20 minutes later, like, hey, Beyonce's in the front row chilling with popcorn.
I'm sorry.
Did you exit yet?
What's this thing with Stephen A. too? She's going back and forth with him. Today.
Well, he told her basically he dropped the stay in your lane thing.
Got it.
No, he said basically stay in the kitchen is what he basically
Right.
was
Okay.
saying.
I was trying
That
to
is
be
what he
nice
almost-
about it.
But when
yeah.
you play it back, in his defense, which I probably would do one time in my natural life, he convolutes his point so much with hyperbole and yelling and multisyllabics
Like he
and
always does.
and looking at the screen and flinching and throwing his hands that his actual point gets lost. Like he made the right point. Like, hey, don't tweet this kind of stuff out in crunch time of the
that's what he
finals.
said first, and then he just starts.
And then he just goes all over here with it, and then has to apologize later because he has mouth diarrhea.
That's what happens when you're a sideshow.
Yeah.
All the action covers your actual message.
Quite frankly, Evan, I don't appreciate that comment.
So he was right, and then he just went wrong after he actually made his initial point, which sucks. So
Should have quit while you were behind, Stephen A.
So looking at Game 7, Sunday night Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
Yeah,
by the way.
Dan.
Dan.
All those dads.
×2.
Yep. Double trouble.
that you know of.
Looking at Game 7, guys. Thank you for that. Shit.
Yes.
Wheels came off on that one.
I hope the missus is one of the viewers. Right
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Looking at Game 7, guys, what do we think is going to happen here? Are the Warriors done, or are we going to see them bounce back and trump them?
They're not
with 15.
They're not done.
Or is this like a triple overtime in your face type of game?
I'm hoping it just lives up to the title and is a fabulous game. I hope it's not a blowout either way. I'll say this. The most valuable player in the league this year was Stephen Curry. The most valuable player on this team is Draymond Green. The most important player on this team is Klay Thompson.
Oh, that was beautiful.
It's true.
He's got to stay hot, and he's got to get hot early if they're going to have a chance to win this game at home.
But he's tired because
You
he's
hear
been
that,
carrying
Clay?
the team on his back.
Get hot.
Like, Clay been tired. You
He
saw
has
that
been.
last game. Like, dog, I'm actually sleepy because I'm not LeBron. Like, I don't do this on the regular. It's not my deal on this team.
This offense runs at his best when he is hitting threes, when he's hitting outside shots, when he's getting into the elbow and hitting jumpers. It opens up Steph for screens. It opens up cuts to the hoop. He's got to play well if they're going to win Game 7.
But Tyronn Lue taking a page out of my book, beating up Steph not cashing. Clay always has to guard the first or second best offensive player on the other team and then get beat up when he's playing on defense. He's tired. Now your first scoring option technically is Nutcheck, who isn't the greatest scorer, and then Barbosa coming off the bench and whoever else. So I feel like you literally just took the head and the neck of the dragon off, and you expect the little guys to carry the load, which kind of almost never happens.
Because the weird thing about Draymond that's been happening in this series is typically when he gets that spot up three up top, he has no hesitation. He puts it up. He's been hesitating quite a bit in this series.
Well, he was also missing a lot of them, too.
Right.
And that's why. But
So let's make a prediction. Might as well. That's what we do. Bros, what do you think?
I'll take the Warriors just on the fact that, like, I always look at basketball as a roller coaster, up and down, back and forth, round and round, and the Warriors have home court. Like, I'm not fully confident in that prediction, but
I think the home court is the reason that tilts me over, too.
And I think, I was actually proud that Steph showed a little emotion, and he threw his mouth guard.
Oh, yeah, that
know,
that too.
Like, I was
poor
happy.
rich white kid.
I was happy
Who,
he
like,
did that.
high-fived him afterwards.
Yeah, I was
like,
I was
hey, man,
happy.
it's cool.
I was happy he showed a little emotion because that guy is like one of the most like unemotional leaders out there. Like that's why you said Draymond is the MVP of the team because he's the emotional leader of the squad.
he does so much.
Yeah, but the baby-faced assassin, who assassin usually kills their victim from like hundreds of yards away, like in the comfort of like a hotel room or something like that, as we see in movies. Now he's been knocked down on the playground by a dude with a knife. He needs to show a little emotion, show a little backbone, and go out there and be the MVP. I think he will. Again, not fully confident, but I'm taking the Warriors just because of home court.
When he does show emotion, it's typically because he's doing well. He needs to show that emotion from jump Sunday. I want to say the Warriors. I really do, obviously. I just have the feeling that Cleveland has found their groove. LeBron has found his groove. The other guys are getting their parts right. And if literally they keep Kevin Love limited in minutes, if he plays under 15 minutes, Cleveland wins.
Key to Game 7, Kevin Love's minutes.
That was really funny yesterday during the whole ESPN pregame. The dude was holding the trash can with Kevin Love in it
Yeah,
in
that was
Cleveland.
great.
That was awesome. That's good stuff.
Thanks for Wiggins, guys.
JP, what's your call?
I think that the Cavs continue to beat up on little boy Steph because he's just not. He's not built for this. his foul trouble in the last game, everybody's arguing that those fouls were egregious. I mean, if anybody's ever played organized basketball, like, you know what a reaching foul is. And he was reaching. Like, 2 of those fouls were close. And I understand, like, playoff basketball, you need to really hack somebody to get a foul. So I agree. But he still had 4 fouls. 3 of those coming in the second half. The last one, all right, but when you're watching the slow-mo, he fouled them. I feel like he's just going to get frustrated again at home, and he'll just be throwing up prayers from 45 and 50 feet that aren't going to fall. And he's facing the guy who's played in more Game 7s than anybody on the floor. So I just feel like LeBron can literally carry his team to the promised land and then leave in the offseason back to Miami and just make this really fun for everybody.
All right, well, I guess we'll see what happens Sunday night. Game 7 from Oracle. We'll all be tuned. Actually, I'm going to run it on my laptop at the park because I'm going to be at a barbecue for Father's Day, so I'm going to be watching it there.
Yeah.
You guys got any plans for Game 7? Just hit it up at the house kind of thing?
I'll be with Pops. We'll be watching golf for most of the day, and then probably.
What do y'all got going for? You gonna
golf? Who's still golfing?
Drive down to see Face?
Is Spieth playing? Is he alive?
My dad will watch golf. It could be like, the non-who's who, and my dad will still watch just because it's the U.S. Open and it's Father's Day.
Yeah, he's a diehard like Evan Doherty.
He will. Yeah, my grandparents. Same
right
thing.
now.
Yep.
Speaking of the Open, we're almost halfway through the first 2 rounds. I don't know if they're going to finish round 2 today. It doesn't seem like it, right, Ev?
No, a lot of guys actually won't even start round 2 today because of all the rain they had on Thursday.
Oh, really? Wow.
The guys who were in the Thursday afternoon, Friday morning are now in the middle of round 2, and the guys who would have normally teed off Friday afternoon are now teeing off Saturday morning. I think it's going to get accordion and squeeze so much in that they'll probably play about 27 or so on Saturday and maybe still be able to get it in by Sunday.
If not, Monday.
And who doesn't love Monday golf?
Who doesn't love Monday golf?
One of my favorite parts about the U.S. Open, I know this doesn't apply very often, but is the 18-hole playoff. I love that about this tournament. When there's a tie, they play a full round. It's not this, 4-hole playoff or
Island Green.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember one year when the Open was on NBC, and I was working at the affiliate in Phoenix, and I was a daytime editor, and
nice.
I was working a daytime shift. So it went to a playoff. And I just remember, like, pumping my fist because I went into work that day, kicked my heels up, and did a damn thing the whole day because that golf tournament was on our air. It was beautiful.
Well, that was probably the epic 08 Tiger Rocco Mediate.
Yes, it was.
Right?
It was.
When Tiger was playing on a broken leg.
What was that name you said twice?
Rocco Mediate.
Nah, that was once.
So what's the leaderboard looking like at this point? I know you're backing up Dustin on this one, right?
Yeah, Dustin Johnson. He was my pick coming in. He was 4 under at the end of round 1.
Did we get official? Did that official?
Was that?
Did we get that last week on the?
No. He threw it out some point.
I threw it out some point in the week.
This week
Like in the last 30 minutes.
But,
yep, that's when I heard about it. It was after round 1.
Yes.
Yeah, Martha Stewart, insider trading.
Thank you.
Anyway, so none of the big names are really up at the top other than Sergio, right?
No, the top 3 players in the world: Jason Day, Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, they're all like combined 15 over par.
Trash.
Bad.
Yeah.
Have been
Garbage.
playing well. Oakmont's been playing tough. Even with the rain that softened the course and made it a little bit slower, the green's a little more manageable, it's still playing pretty fast. So.
Basura, the Tiger already won this one.
I know we're probably dropping listeners by the dozen here as we talk golf, but I was actually, why is it that they, and I know this is probably a goal for this tournament, but why is it that the U.S. Open courses, they always say is like so hard, and that's why like finishing an Open 10 under is something, you know what I mean?
Right. If you finish an Open like 5 under.
That's what I mean. Why is it this tournament is different from the others? Is it just they pick the harder courses and then they make pin placement
They want the
hard
cream to rise to the top.
Yeah, exactly. And they grow out the rough to put a larger emphasis on driving. Because so much now with the technology, it's easy for guys to bomb at 350 and, oh, God, if I hit it right and hit it in the rough, it's not that thick so I can still hit a wedge or a short iron and get it onto the green. It puts such a large emphasis on getting the ball in the fairway to start. And then on a place like Oakmont, the greens, not every green is flat. It's got some kind of undulations. This has tiers and levels that are unlike almost any golf course in the world, and it's probably the fastest greens in the world.
Well, yeah, we saw that chip from Spieth. Was it yesterday?
Yep.
Your
Who
boy
chipped it on, put it about 4 feet from the pin, and it rolled back and all the way into the bunker.
Into a bunker. So yeah.
What was his quote?
I don't
He
remember
screamed
off the top
like,
of my head, but
why? How is that in the bunker? Something like that.
he yelled like Steph Curry after
Yeah.
missing a three.
Did he throw a golf club?
No, I didn't throw
Or
anything.
a mouth guard.
Still wearing those ugly Under Armour shoes, though.
Well, Under Armour, you guys are disrespectful, man. Like, you guys are so disrespectful. The product, functionality-wise, is top-notch. It's probably better than Nike. It's probably better than Adidas. It's probably better than all your competitors. But aesthetically, like, you guys probably have the most trash designers on the planet Earth. What's going on?
Did you guys see Tom Brady was rocking those Curry 2s last night during the
Oh, no.
NBA Finals? He
The
tweeted it
low
out.
top ones that are an omen?
Yeah, and he wrote straight fire on the toe of the left foot, just like Curry did.
He meant to write straight garbage. Does anybody care about Steve Stricker?
Not particularly. Why? What's up?
I just like the way he said that playing with Tiger Woods ruined his confidence,
Yeah, in 2004.
Well,
and he still never recovered.
that was the, we've always talked about this in 25 episodes. Always said that the thing that Tiger did was intimidation more than anything. He intimidated people and he made them uncomfortable.
In the most non-contact sport ever. He probably taught LeBron how to do that to the whole Golden State Warriors squad.
Oh Jesus! All right,
I'm out here reaching like Steph Curry.
anybody want to talk soccer?
Wow.
You guys want to talk soccer?
I'll talk
Do
some
I?
soccer. I think we're really boring JP today.
Oh,
USA Ecuador
Yeah.
throwing down the boxing match almost.
I watched Brazil lose and then got very confused as to how this thing was going to shake out.
This match was I don't know. I only saw from about minute 50 on, but that's really all I needed to see for the good stuff. US already had a 1-0 lead at that point,
The
and
Dempsey
then
header in the first half was pretty nice.
I saw the highlight of that, and that was
Sexy.
cool. But I mean, I don't think I've ever seen. We were talking about it this morning. I don't think I've ever seen that many bookings in one game. It was a
there's-
lot.
Oh, with the
I've
yellow
seen
cards?
games where there's been a lot of bookings. Usually it kind of like unravels toward the end of it. But that many impact bookings.
Huge.
And really
Huge.
like I felt like I was watching the NBA a little bit because Jermaine Jones just kind of tapped him in the chin, and that's a red card. That's an ejection.
But it's automatic, right?
Hey, the two bald dudes on the U.S. are angry. What's the little guy named Bradley and the Asian
Bradley?
cat?
Michael
And
Bradley's
Wood?
the captain.
And Bobby Wood.
Bro, both them cats got anger management
Well,
issues.
John Brooks, the defender, also angry.
I literally just saw them running up and just screaming at people's faces. Like, hold up, man, chill out.
Yeah, no, it was actually a fun game to watch. I didn't get to watch it live, but I went back home and I actually stayed up and watched it, which is probably a testament to how little of a life I have. And
Serious question. Sorry to interrupt. How come soccer players don't get penalized for grabbing the wrong ankle when they do the
When they
foul?
fall.
I wish they would card the player who made the foul, and then they would also card the player who dove. Sometimes, like they do in hockey, they said they were going to start calling that more, but I rarely see that.
You'll see somebody get kicked in the left ankle and
Yeah.
grab the right knee. Hold
Yeah.
up. How
Yeah.
what happened there? Did they transfer in midair when he was falling? Like,
Well,
oh, the
this
pain.
is also the sport where they come out and they just spray some cold water on you, and you're magically okay. So,
If James Neal ever plays soccer, I think they'll get the right rule.
Oh man.
oh, Collins
Did I
is
just say
watching.
that?
No, she's
Yeah,
not.
I'm sure she is. I'm sure
Who can beat Argentina?
she is. Okay, so that's
That's the thing.
Jurgen?
no.
It gets to. I think
No.
that's the reason why, those cards hurt. Which the U.S. has actually formally protested the cards against Jermaine Jones and Bobby Wood. So they're attempting to try to get one or both of them back for the semifinal.
How often do they get overturned?
I can't remember the last time it happened. But hey, you know what? Again, shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Facts only.
If you're the U.S., shoot.
Oh, yeah, there's no reason not to.
Yeah.
If they say no, they say no.
The problem is that you're going to be down Jermaine Jones. You're going
Yeah.
to be down Alejandro Bedoya, who got a really bad yellow card in late in the game. And Jurgen should have taken him out earlier when they were up 2-1, and he didn't. He left him in. Landon Donovan did a so-so job on the broadcast, but he was pointing out that Bedoya was tired the whole time. And finally, he slipped up because he was tired, and he got another yellow card, so he's gone. And then Bobby Wood's out, who was arguably outside of Dempsey their best player in that game because he kept stretching the Ecuador defense. So you're down 3 of the guys who've been starting for you the entire tournament, and now you're going to go up against the number 1 team in the world in Argentina, unless they slip and lose to Venezuela tomorrow, which I don't see happening.
But I think the best, or I think the takeaway is that I don't know if anyone expected the U.S. to be in the semifinals.
No.
So what is this?
Because they were supposed to face Brazil in this game.
Right. And Brazil got a bad call
Well, no,
against. It was a bad call against Peru, right?
No, the U.S. wasn't even supposed to win this group.
Well, that's
ended
true.
up
They were
winning
gonna
the
be
group.
second.
Yeah, they were supposed to be second, probably facing Brazil, and then Brazil got,
Right.
Brazil got hosed.
So, but what does this do for the men's national team as a whole? Does that buy Jurgen even more time now just to getting to this point?
I think it does. But here's the thing, Jurgen. Like the difference between this tournament and other ones is that he's sticking with the lineup. He's not changing it every time. He's sticking with the back line. He obviously had to make a change yesterday.
He's going to have to make some more.
But that was because Yedlin had gotten 2 yellows and wasn't able to play. Yedlin will be back for the semis, so he'll have his back line intact. But yeah, he's going to have to make some changes. He does have some experienced midfielders, and that's where it's going to count because Argentina will possession you to death with Messi. He can just dance around everybody. So he'll have to figure out some kind of way, formation-wise, to drag this thing out and hope that Dempsey or Zardes can get loose and get their head on one. And Argentina's defense isn't fantastic. That's their weak link, their back line. So if Dempsey can, work those guys over a little bit, they might have a shot at getting one, but it's going to be a very tough test if if they're not at full strength.
Yeah, it's always in these matches when it's the U.S. as the under like that. Possession's key. They got to hold on to the ball, control it. I don't like their chances.
I don't either. But again, like if you can make it to the Final Four of this tournament, like it would.
That was their goal.
It would be the tie. They were. I guess they were in the semis in '95 in the Copa. So this will tie for their. I mean, hell, they could even win the third place game. Who knows? That might be their best finish in the Copa ever. So,
Hey, moral victories.
yeah, we'll see.
Oh man, I got an alert here. Andy Behrens has joined the Facebook Live feed. So
I will.
Oh,
hey,
no.
Andy.
I will booster money.
We
Hey,
haven't
Andy.
talked Galen Rupp yet, Andy. So
We've been waiting
tuned
for you
in
to
just
join
in
us.
time.
Here comes a middle distance question.
So Argentina. So then, who are we looking at in the final of this thing? And this is being played
Well,
by Jersey, right?
I'm
Kevin?
hoping that it's Mexico, Colombia in the other semi. That would be a fun game to watch. Although Mexico, Chile, the game I'll be at tomorrow.
Yeah, you're going right.
Yep. We'll have a recap on Yahoo Sports tomorrow night at midnight if
Check
you
it
guys
out.
want to check it
Shameless
out.
plug, baby.
They actually put me on camera, which is amazing. So yeah, it looks like it could be Mexico, Colombia, which would be a fun one. Even Colombia, Chile would
That'd
be
be nice, too.
a fantastic semi. So I'd actually like if I'm the U.S. and we get past Argentina, I want to get Colombia again, just to have another shot at them from what they did in the first game.
have some hummus.
So that means it'll be Argentina, Mexico, right?
Probably.
Yes.
I just want to see Dylan, and Dylan.
All the fire. All of it.
All right, Andy, where's your question? We're waiting for you. A little bit of NFL news here. Somebody explain this Waffle House elbow sleeve.
I'd
You
throw it
never.
out
You
'cause
have you
it
been
was
to
fun.
Atlanta ever in your life?
I have been in the airport. That is all.
I've been to one in Arizona, which doesn't really count.
I've been
There's
to a Waffle House.
in Arizona.
Yeah,
indeed.
I lived right down the street from it. I
Is
could have
it-
walked.
Is it trash?
It was fine.
It's Waffle House.
But who in the back cooking the waffles?
I didn't ask.
See, yeah, that's the issue.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
Waffle House in Atlanta, world famous. After the Boom Boom Room.
Baron wants to know if he missed the Posey talk.
Oh, have we not talked about Buster Posey in this podcast?
Weren't we going to get the dream? Weren't we going to get the dream?
Oh, the dream I had.
Should we
Oh,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah.
finish the Waffle House and then we'll?
Yeah, let's do
Sure.
Waffle House and
Okay.
then we'll talk about the dream. So,
Your
so
sister's
this
watching
thing,
too, Doherty.
Sweet.
Shout out.
She loves sports. Sports.
Sports.
That's what she commented.
so this one here, Ev, explain this. So, a Titans defensive back is wearing an elbow sleeve or something. like that?
Yeah, BW Webb comes out in a elbow sleeve on his left arm, and it's a Waffle House logo. And it's not like the practice jerseys in the NFL now. Teams have sponsors and they wear a patch on their chest. This is just his own little deal he does. And I was curious what restaurant you guys would want on your arm sleeve,
Restaurant
Ooh.
only. Okay, so
like a Waffle House.
okay, so Brandon, you want to go first or JP? You got something?
No,
I mean, I would probably put double D's on mine just because of the history I had
Oh,
there.
yeah.
10 years working
Fair.
there, and then it burned down. Like, it just did, like 3 months ago.
Arson?
No,
Oh.
water heater.
Water heater.
No, I'd probably do
Air
that.
quotes.
But anybody else? What do you got? Probes.
I'm trying to think of the most obnoxious looking I'm trying to think of the most obnoxious logo of a restaurant that I could put on there. Like Red Robin or...
Wow.
I actually enjoy Red Robin, though, so that would be like a twofer.
Oh, the fries.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, I can't really think. Maybe Krispy Kreme? Maybe
Oh,
a
good one.
Kreme sleeve?
Good one.
Evan, what do you like?
I was thinking like I don't know, like Chili's or
There you go.
Baby back ribs?
Baby back.
yeah.
JP?
I think I'm going to have to bid weekly on whichever food establishment not trying to kill my people via cholesterol.
Not Chipotle?
Hell no. Would never do that unless we ran out of like toilet paper. So I mean, they just have to bid weekly, and if you had some kind of health initiative or you had, a diversity inclusion program at your restaurant, if your money was right, I'll wear you on the sleeve for a week of
Red
practice.
Lobster?
JP is all about the sponsorships.
Yeah.
Always.
You can dial him up on Twitter. He'll feature your beverage right here on the Bullpen podcast. Wear your arm sleeve.
I mean, Dornbush, I know you watching. You might want to put me in one of those marketing meetings or with sales or something so we can get this paper together.
Airbnb. Airbnb arm sleeves for everybody.
Carrie still hates me for Airbnb, and we missed that one. I'm not going to let anybody live that one down. They let Espen take that right from under us.
All right, so
Can we first talk about that B.W. Webb should not be playing football? He should be a novelist. I mean, that's a perfect...
that's a perfect. You're absolutely right.
B-Dub.
All right, so
yeah.
let's
Evan
get.
told us this
You had a
earlier.
dream
Wait
about
for-
Posey?
No. wait for this.
So
It's
last
even
week on the
better, JP.
podcast, you may remember that Evan had a run-in with Buster Posey's wife at an interview where she was making eyes at him, making eyes. So this week we have another prominent female athlete this time that was that happened to appear in Evan's stream.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, before we start, Barron said he actually pulled up a stat. Barron said that in the last 15 games, the Buster Posey was playing like a trash can, and it was your fault. He even gave the
I believe
average.
that.
He said that, like, since you had told the story, he's like, I knew it was something wrong with Posey, and he gave the stat
He said
line.
he dropped him in all of his fantasy
And it was
leagues,
because of
too,
you.
because he knew.
The day
Doherty curse.
The day of that interview, we did the thing with him at the hat store for New Era, and then we go to the clubhouse that day to also do something with the Red Sox because they were in town, and we find out at an hour before first pitch that Posey's not playing because of a nerve in his finger.
I texted you
Irritated
immediately.
nerve or something in his thumb, and he had zero signs of it throughout the entire interview. And then actually I looked back at it later, like the other day, and saw that the B-roll we got of him putting on his hat, his right hand, he's kind of grasping fully the bill of the cap, but the left hand, he's like pulling down, but the thumb's not pressing at all. He's not like, so I don't know what the deal was.
Home record Doherty, baby.
Hey.
All right, so what? Who was the?
He's about to crush your dreams,
yeah.
JP.
Who is the prominent female athlete in this most recent dream?
So the dream, the only really part that I still remember now because it's been a few days.
Oh, now he forgot.
No.
How
I know-
convenient.
I know who it is. But the only part of the dream I really remember is that I'm in the passenger seat in a car with Allison Felix.
Get out of hand. I'll text you.
Oh my God! I literally just got a text message in all caps from her. Why did our internet go out as you're explaining this dream you didn't tell me about?
This is interactive.
Lindsay, do you see how God works? Okay? The Lord works in mysterious ways. He didn't want you to hear that, clearly. That makes perfect sense.
Oh man.
JP was staring daggers through you.
Oh
by the
man.
way. Evan Doherty, the dream, Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Oh wow, that's funny. So now you've taken now.
Trey Songs Doherty? Evan Songs? My goodness.
Quick side note, Barons wants to know why JP didn't impact Iowa sports the way it was supposed to be intended via the sponsorship.
See, what happened was, Barons, when them checks didn't clear, okay, my endorsement started to wane a little bit. So if you want to go back to the board of what do they do in Iowa? Do they husk corn? Or they
That's Nebraska.
play with hay? I figured I mean, Slipknot's from Iowa. Bangladesh is from Iowa. I'm trying to figure out what their niche is. Whatever it is, Barons, get them together, pull the money, return back here. We'll discuss again. I'm open to suggestions. I just need the check to clear first.
I just want what just happened to be a weekly segment, as I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Dreamin' with Doherty.
Dreamin' with Doherty. Join us
Got it.
next week for more from, I see, wow, 2 for 2. Who's going to be next week?
Even my dad just said, wow, Evan is dreaming about Allison.
Faces involved.
Came
That's
in
why
the
we
face.
did live interaction. The text messages.
Wow.
Interesting. By the way, today is my 1 year anniversary of being engaged, and I'm 1 year out from my wedding.
That's right. 1 year
this is
from
the perfect
today.
night for this to happen. Right?
Yeah,
Now I'm
great.
gonna go home and have to
And sleep on the couch.
really get it.
And this is the funny thing. So since you explained it earlier, which level of the couch are you sleeping on?
The first floor or the second?
Wherever the cat is. Not.
We're going to get a picture later. Doherty's going to be wearing that cone around his neck.
It's going to be a copy being
Man.
like, well, I told her about the dream. Oh, man.
Amazing. Allison, if you're watching, which I know you are, just hit me back on the snap again.
All right. Well, we got more interaction via text than we did via Facebook Live this week. But anything else you guys want to hit on before we get out of here for this week?
Does anybody have a good OJ story?
I've been watching. I'm through
No.
2 episodes.
I've seen none of it.
Of it, and it's really fascinating.
Tonight is episode 4, and this is the one that's going to probably make
JP's
people-
already watched all of them here
Twice.
Yeah,
But episode 4 is going to blow you away.
because you forget a lot of the stuff that was going on at that time. Plus, you forget a lot of the OJ, the details. Just in him leading up, and just how big he was. Which was you forget that, and again, it all happened before
I was gonna
we
say.
were born. But it is a very fascinating piece. There's again, the theme of this episode is layers. There's so many layers to this thing.
So they've all come out, right? Or they haven't all come out yet?
They're all online, but if you don't watch them on your computer,
So
Five
you
is
were
Saturday.
watching 5 the other day. That was
Yeah.
the last one with the Vegas stuff.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
can we get a quick shout out to Films watching us in
B.
Sweden
Murray.
right now?
We're international. B. Murray, you got a quick question before we get out of here? Throw it on the Facebook
Film,
Live.
did you take your starter pack with you to Sweden?
Oh,
The 5-hour energy and the 7 other things?
Yes.
the Christmas starter pack.
But shout out to the one good time I had in Texas at the Reed Berry family reunion, because on August the 4th, 2007, I met Juice. He was very much inebriated on the San Antonio Riverwalk. Yeah, on the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
And he's walking towards us, a group of me and my cousins who, I don't know, but they were cool. So I look, and I was like, damn, that's Juice. And for some reason, they had no idea who he was. And they're like, what? It's like, that's OJ. I'm like, no, it's not. So then he gets closer, maybe 20 yards away. And I was like, Juice, Juice. And then he gets 10 yards away, and he looks up. He goes, what's up, man? And I was like, oh, shit. OJ acknowledged me. And he's walking with 2 Playboy bunnies literally carrying him. But it's just funny because he doesn't see anybody else. But he had to holler at greatness. So he's walking up the stairs, and this lady comes from behind me and goes, yeah, that's Juice. And I turn around, and it's like some OG Angela Bassett looking lady with the glasses and the nice short hair and this black dinner dress. I'm like, whoa. And my cousin's looking at me like, do you know her? I'm like, nah, but my goodness. And that's my OJ story. He literally walked into the club and
See,
probably bought
not
shots
everybody
for everybody.
hates JP.
No.
The Juice didn't.
The Juice didn't?
I mean, he's a pretty controversial character.
Maybe not one you want in your phone, like on speed dial, but
I mean, he's part of the reason why I love SC. I remember Saturday morning watching him on ESPN Classic. Like, my goodness, it's the greatest running back ever. I should be
Yeah,
a
that's the
Trojan
other
fan.
stuff too. You watch those old highlights in this thing, and it's just like it's literally it's like Tecmo Bowl.
Like it,
With
but it was
Bo.
graceful.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
my gosh, this is poetry in motion. Well, shout out to OJ. He gets out in a year, so hopefully he'll be able to tell a story, the real story, a different story. I mean, what? Everybody's making money off of OJ, and people had the audacity to get mad at Deion Sanders' tweet when he said, I hope OJ's kids are reaping the benefits of all this hoopla
Yeah.
around him. And then his Twitter mentions were in shambles. And for some reason, he deleted the tweet. And I was like, wait a second. If everybody is producing a doc, a show, writing
Yeah,
books,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Justin and I forgot the other young lady's name. Like, what do his kids get? Are they written into this somehow? Because everybody's making money off of OJ but OJ.
I totally agree.
I hope they're getting cashed out.
Hopefully he's got a nice house when he gets on the outside, so he doesn't have to end up going
compound.
back to jail.
Put him away.
It's not cool, but it actually is cool because it's capitalistic America. When he was in jail, he didn't have to pay for his lawyer fees out of pocket because he signed all those autographs. Did you guys catch that in episode 3?
No, I haven't watched 3
He
yet.
signed enough autographs while in prison to raise $3 million cash.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Off of autographs alone.
Wow.
And that's how
He'll be fine. He'll just Pete Rose it. He'll just go sign autographs. People still want him.
Everybody watch it because the next 2 episodes
No, it's really good.
are out of there.
All right, anything else, guys? We all good?
Keep your women away from Evan.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Keep
All right.
your athletic women away from Evan.
Literally.
That's going to do it for this edition of the Bullpen Podcast. Please tweet at us at the Bullpen Pod. You can get in touch with Evan if you need anything at YSportsEvan. Phone number, he'll tweet your phone number directly.
You directly.
And for a small fee of $50, he'll dream about you.
That's right. You could $3 million.
If I could raise $3 million dreaming of people.
Wow, that would be great.
All right, that wraps up episode 25, guys. We made it through 25 of these things. Hopefully we got 25 more.
We are legends.
And
We got some good ones coming up, though.
Off next week, but we'll check back in a couple weeks as we get closer to, I guess, 4th of July? What's next? I don't know.
Wing Day?
National Wing Day. That's our first live show out of the studio.
Is Barron
We'll tease it now. It's July 29th.
Is Barron sponsoring this?
We're going to have to fly Barron's out for it.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, Barron's, holler at Dornbush.
All right, thanks for checking out the Bullpen Podcast. Keep in touch. Peace.
Stay black.